Psychologist, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a real word?
No, I made it up.
No, I know. Yeah, I played him twice in 19 and 20. So I'm sure there's guys who played him a lot more than me, but I've certainly played him the last 2 years. Have a ton of respect for them, Coach Sweeney, Coach Elliott, Coach Venables. I think it's one of the best coaching staffs in the country. Coach Sweeney's been really good to me. Getting to know him at the ACC meeting this year, really, and just spending time on Zoom, and we've texted back and forth. I have a ton of respect for him. He does it the right way, coaches the right way, motivates the right way, cares about the integrity of the game, coaches fundamentals and technique. I can't say enough about the staff and what they've done, and they got a good football team. And I know right now the record is not what everyone is used to seeing in Clemson, but just turn on the tape and watch them. At least from a defensive standpoint, watching their offense, guys are just like inches away. I mean, 5 thrown passes that, gosh, they're just misses, or they just dropped them, or the back just missed a cutback that, I mean, they're scoring and they're scoring and they're scoring. So I respect the scheme, I respect the players, and this will be a big test in a hostile environment. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get their best on Saturday night. So we got our work cut out for us. We're excited about the opportunity, and we got our work to do in practice this week.
On a scale where this is the first time for you that you're going into a stadium that's going to be that loud,
right?
Do you simulate it, or how do you kind of prepare the guys amongst the scheme to get ready?
Yeah, we certainly talked about it. We know it's going to be loud. I was only there last year with half the stadium full because of COVID. So I hear it's going to be loud. We tried to simulate it a few periods right now in practice. So I'm totally out of it. My ears are still ringing. Coach Signetti, I think he had his mix of Guns N' Roses and whatever, Pearl Jam. I felt like I was at a concert. So my head's spinning, my ears are ringing. But we'll do that. We'll do the best we can. There's nothing we can totally do to simulate it, but we'll work on it in a couple periods at least.
Coach, you talked about these games now being, instead of almost winning them, you now need to win them. Is that how you're approaching this week, just mentally?
Well, I think you need to win every game. Yeah. What I said in my comment after the game was, last year everyone was getting excited because we were competing in games, but we weren't winning them. When you're in a close game like that, you have to finish it off, and that's all I meant by that. I approach this game like I have of every single game I've been here. It all starts with preparation. We need to do our best. And if we prepare any differently for this game than we did for the last game, then I failed last game. So that's the way I look at the routine.
Does it bring new energy getting into conference play? Is it exciting?
I thought last week we had great energy. Again, I guess if I'm doing a bad job as a head coach, if we don't have the same energy week 1 that we need to get for the start of the ACC play. And I'm trying my best to make sure that that's not the case. Maybe the players feel different, but I need to coach the same way, and I need to lead the team the same way.
Jeff, you mentioned the quarterback, DJ Ukulele. You faced him last year. What advantage does that give the defense going against the same guy another year?
I don't know if it gives us an advantage. I mean, you watch the tape. He's enormous. I would expect him to run the ball against us. He has about as strong of an arm as I've ever seen. I mean, it looks like he's throwing 98-mile-per-hour fastballs, and when he's on the run, he can do it. He can do it in the pocket. And like I said, they're getting a lot of undeserved criticism because, guys, I mean, it's inches, and he's a good player. And they got Ross is back, and I mean, I have experience, going up against him. He's a great wideout. And then they got 10, 6, 2. I know the running back's out, but 20's a good player. And they got a good old line. They're one of the most talented teams in America with good coaches. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
I want to ask you about Garwell. Maybe even more than a 1-2 punch in your backfield, but to get contributions from a number of guys, did you expect to get more than 400 yards from Pat in the first 4 weeks?
I don't know if I had any expectation for yards, but when he was in what I saw in training camp, I expected to see him play the way he did. He had a really good camp, came back from an injury, worked really hard, was making great run reads in training camp, hard to bring down, hard to thud up. I mean, he's big. He's bigger than people think he is. Thick in the lower waist. I think he's faster than people give him credit for being. But the way he worked, it doesn't surprise me. Now, put the yards on it. Shoot, I didn't even know how many yards he had at this point. But again, the ACC Player of the Week, just keeps his mouth shut and works. So I'm really happy for him, and I'm proud of him.
And how would you best describe the players' mindset coming off a win like that, understanding how big this matchup is from a program building perspective?
I think the win was important. I think it was important for BC. I think it was important for our football program. You know, and now it's my job. I mean, it's over. That's done. It doesn't mean anything. Put it behind you, and let's go back to work, and let's learn from the mistakes that we made. Because if you really watch that film closely and you're honest with the players and they're honest with themselves, there's a lot to correct. And whether you win or lose, that's the case. And I think we're mature enough to see that. And I think we're mature enough to move on and realize that the game's over, and now we have a big one ahead.
Coach, Brandon Sebastian, just how has he developed? I know he won ACC Player of the Week too this week, I think. But just how has he kind of developed in your short time here? When you came in, I know he was kind of one of your top 2 defensive backs as it was, but has he gone to another level?
Yeah, I think so. I think last year he was one of our more consistent players. I think he's tackling at a high level. He certainly made a great play last week. He's been very consistent. There's still some things he'll tell you he needs to work on, but I'm pleased with where he is right now.
Jeff, how much of last year's game do you look back on, or is it just strictly the first 4 weeks of Clemson that you're looking at this time?
Oh, it's everything, because it's the same, you know, it's the same staff against the same staff, and there's mistakes we made in that game that if we don't fix, I'm sure they'll exploit. So we got to watch it hard and make sure we clean up. Clearly, we need to play better than we did last year. We were up and we lost and we blew a big lead. So we need to play better than we did last year. We won't win. There are certain situations we need to play way better in. We need to coach better in and play better in. So we look closely at that, and then all the games that they've played this year, and you know, so that's definitely one that we have watched.
We all knew the offensive line was going to be great coming in, but they've almost exceeded expectations in my eyes. Just how great have they been in yours?
Our O-line's done a nice job. I mean, those kids have played together for a while now. You know, I felt last year at one point after the Virginia Tech game that they were starting to click. I felt going into after the Temple game, I felt the same way. So it didn't surprise me the way we ran the ball against Missouri. But they need to do that. I mean, they're good players. They're really good players. Probably the most experienced group and the most talented group as a whole that we have. And, you know, we've probably ran the ball more than people think. And I think you'll see that kind of go up and down. But I'm proud of them. They've done a really good job. They stuck together. Coach Applebaum's doing a really good job of gelling that group within the scheme. And I think they'll just continue to take steps every week now. I hope they do.
Jeff, one last thing on the
Sure.
noise. This might sound kind of strange, but what decibel did you have that at? Or did you have a
Decibels.
certain level that you wanted that
The
at?
decibel was where right now both of my ears are ringing, so I'll have to Google it. I couldn't even tell you. I don't even know what the decibel scale is. I'm not smart enough to figure that stuff out. But it was loud, right, J-Bomb? Too loud. I'm bringing earplugs to practice tomorrow, or I'm having Coach Ignetti turn it down a little bit.
So it's his choice on the music?
Oh yeah, it definitely. I think it was right from his iPhone. There's no way it was our players' music, that's for sure. Every time I clicked over the headset, I could hear him kind of singing in the background, so it was definitely
DJ Sig or?
yeah, definitely.
We practiced in silent counts too.
I'm not sure if they were or not, Rich. We'll have to see that on Saturday.
Okay.
Jeff, how would you describe your relationship with Dabo Sweeney?
I kind of look up to him. He's, as a younger coach, not saying that he's old by any means, what he's done at Clemson and where he's taken it and built it and stayed there and the consistency, I mean, I think it's awesome. Rather than a guy that probably could have jumped around here or there, he does it with good kids. He recruits the right way to fit his scheme, just doesn't look at stars. He believes in fundamentals and technique. He's hired good coaches. He treats people the right way. I just appreciate it because since I've joined the conference, he's been really good with me, and he doesn't have to be at all. So I respect him. Like I said, I look up to him, and I think he's an awesome coach and an awesome person.